May I kindly ask everyone to take their seats so we can proceed with the closing ceremony? Everyone, please take your seats now. May there be order in the house. Thank you. We will now start with the closing ceremony. Welcome to the closing ceremony of the 24th International Session of the Oldenburg Model United Nations. I will briefly introduce ourselves once again. My name is Sophia Patricia Bieling and I am the President of the General Assembly. And together with my Deputy President, Tuweliche Kimberly-Nyoni, we will guide you through today's closing ceremony. Before we begin, we would like to remind you to turn off your phones. We will begin now with the roll call, where we will call up every nation in alphabetical order. As you hear your delegation's name, raise your placard high and state present loudly. Albania, Algeria, Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Argentina, Armenia, Australia, Austria, Azerbaijan, Bahamas, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Barbados, Belarus, Belgium, Belize, not present, Benin, Bhutan, Bolivia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Botswana, Brazil, Brunei Darussalam. Is Brunei Darussalam in the house? Not present. Bulgaria, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cabo Verde, Cambodia, Cameroon, Canada, Central African Republic, Chad, Chile, China, Colombia, Congo, Costa Rica, Cote d'Ivoire, Croatia, Cuba, Cyprus present, Czech Republic, Denmark, Djibouti, Dominican Republic, Democratic People's Republic Korea, present, Democratic Republic Congo,
Ecuador, Egypt, El Salvador, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Estonia, Eswatini, Ethiopia, Fiji, Finland, France, Gabon, Gabon, Gabon is not present. Gambia, Georgia, Georgia, Georgia is not present. Germany, Ghana, Greece, Guatemala, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Guyana, Haiti, Honduras, Hungary, Iceland, Iceland, Iceland is not present. India, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Ireland, Israel, Israel, Israel is not present. Italy, Jamaica, Japan, Jordan, Jordan, Jordan is not present. Kazakhstan, Jordan is present. Yeah, they were just quiet. Kazakhstan, Kenya, Kiribati, Kuwait, Lao people, no, not quite. Kazakhstan, okay, that's right. Lao People's Democratic Republic, present, they just didn't screw it up. Latvia, Lebanon, Lesotho, Liberia, Liberia, Liberia is not present. Libya, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Lithuania, Lithuania is not present. Luxembourg, Luxembourg, Luxembourg is not present. Madagascar, Madagascar, Madagascar is not present. Malawi, if the delegation is present, please raise your placard high and scream present. Malaysia, Maldives, Maldives, Maldives is not present. Mali, Mauritania, Mauritania is not present. Mexico, Republic of Moldova, Republic of Moldova, Republic of Moldova is not present. Monaco, Mongolia, Montenegro, Montenegro is not present. Morocco, Morocco is not present. Mozambique, Neymar, Neymar is not present. Namibia, Nepal, Netherlands, Netherlands, Netherlands is not present. New Zealand, Nicaragua, Niger, Niger, Niger is not present. Nigeria, North Macedonia, North Macedonia, North Macedonia is not present. Norway, Oman, Pakistan, Panama, Papua New Guinea, Paraguay, Paraguay, Paraguay is not present. Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Qatar, Republic of Korea, Republic of Korea, Republic of Korea is not present. Romania, Romania, Romania is not present. Russia, Russia is not present. Rwanda, Rwanda is not present. Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Serbia, Sierra Leone, Singapore, Slovakia, Slovenia, Slovenia is not present. Solomon Islands, Solomon Islands is not present. Somalia, South Africa, South Africa is not present. South Sudan, Spain, Sri Lanka, Sudan, Suriname, Sweden, Switzerland, Syrian Arab Republic, United Republic of Tanzania, Thailand, Timor-Leste, Timor-Leste is not present. Togo, Turkey, Turkey is not present. Uganda, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States of America, United States of America is not present. Uruguay, was that present? Uruguay, Uzbekistan, Vanuatu, Venezuela, Vietnam, Yemen, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Amnesty International, Blue Shield International, Endangered Language Alliance, International Maritime Organization, International Maritime Organization is not present. African Union, European Union, Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, M23, Permanent Observer Mission of the State of Palestine. Is there any delegation present that has not been called out? Seeing as every delegation present has been called out. For this next segment, note passing is still not in order. We will now continue with a speech by our Deputy Secretary General, Yannicka Ebel. Yannicka started her OLMUN journey as a delegate in 2021 and served as an administrative staff member in 2022. Can I finish? Order in the House, please. Thank you. In 2022, a task that she performed diligently and reliably. She then got the opportunity to participate as a delegate in the commune in Vancouver, Canada in 2023, where she gained experience on how other international MUNs alike operate and organize. As a Deputy Secretary General, she takes care of the general organization of OLMUN such as coordinating the inner circle, organizing the committee venues, and is responsible for our student officers. As the contact person of the IC, she guides, motivates, and takes care of all inner circle members alongside the rest of the secretariat. Yannicka has taken on the challenges that include ensuring the conference had valuable guest speakers, ensuring the best possible venues for our committee sessions this year, with the utmost care and foresight. I speak for the whole team when I say it was a great pleasure working alongside her. Please give a warm welcome to Yannicka Ebel. I yield the floor to our Honorable Deputy Secretary General.
Esteemed delegates, honorable presidency and chairs, dear MUN directors and guests, what an exciting week is now coming to an end. Days full of lively debates, inspiring speeches, plenty of laughter, and new friendships. A week that will surely be remembered by all of us for a long time. As usual, everything began here at the WSM. Even before the conference officially started, there was a unique atmosphere in the air that can only be felt once a year, the OLMUN spirit. For the opening ceremony, all 1,100 participants, consisting of over delegates, 200 staff, 80 MUN directors, and 50 inner circle members, gathered right here, and our Secretary General, Emily Rossop, declared OLMUN 2025 officially opened. Moreover, we were happy to welcome the guest speakers Svenja Hahn, Member of the European Parliament, and Christine Wolf, the Honorary Mayoress of Oldenburg, in person. In addition to that, we received video messages from Beate Streicher, an expert from Amnesty International Germany, and Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the UN, which was a great honor. Some of you also attended the Female Empowerment panel on Tuesday evening. There, you got to hear about the guest speakers' experiences in their respective work fields and engage in discussions with them. After that, we all gathered at the Graf Anton Günther Schule for our annual barbecue, where you could connect with your fellow delegates while enjoying food and drinks, good music, and the exhilarating atmosphere. Some of you also showcased your impressive dancing skills, which wasn't to be the only time this week. On Wednesday, the committee sessions officially began. At 10 different venues across Oldenburg, you debated a variety of topics such as the suppression of cultural assets, piracy in the Horn of Africa, and sustainable forest management. In the discussions, you had to represent your country's respective positions and put aside your personal opinions. After the resolutions had passed the approval panel, we all came together outside by the WSM, where many of you gathered around picnic blankets, volleyball nets, or twister mats to enjoy the evening. The committee sessions continued on Thursday morning, but breaking news interrupted all official proceedings. OLMUN cars got spotted all over the city, and there were rumors spread about a hostage situation. It was later confirmed that the Security Council had to get evacuated due to an emergency. However, all delegates could later be seen safely at the Gleispark and then at the Amadeus, where the queuing for tickets the days before finally paid off and the OLMUN party started. Once again, you were able to prove that OLMUN participants are not just diplomatic delegates, but also devoted dancers. A couple of hours ago, you passed the last resolutions in your committees. And right now, we find ourselves in the same place where it all began. This year's OLMUN revolved around the motto, the quarter of a century, from aspirations to reality. Especially in times like these, where the climate crisis worsens and extremism threatens our democracies and governments, it is important to not give up our aspirations to better the world. We, the youth, are responsible that also for the following 25 years, we will not only have great goals and aspirations for a bright future, but ensure that those visions will be realized. By taking part in the conference this week and working together on finding solutions, you proved that we will be able to do just that. We could not have realized the conference without financial support. we are very grateful and would like to thank our sponsors and supporters. LZO, WSM-Hallen Oldenburg, All Seasons Self-Storage, Marius Eriksen Stiftung, Georg Panja, Bartel Stiftung, EWE, Energy and Meteor Systems, Copy Team, Druckerei Eiting, Rotary, CW, Teno, Junon, and Stadt Oldenburg, as well as our MUN suppliers Vapiano, Anton, Alsbamu, Voiten, Safran, Hans im Glück, Kaffee Extrablatt, Fritz, and L'Osteria. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all those that have worked tirelessly to ensure this week would run smoothly. Thank you to the Inner Circle members and student officers for being our trustworthy support during the week, as well as for all the month leading up to our conference. Thank you to all the chairs who went above and beyond to prepare the committee sessions to give you, the delegates, the groundwork to debate on. Thank you to all the staff who worked diligently behind the scenes. Thank you to all the MRN directors who continue year after year to empower you to join our conference and accompany you during the week. Thank you to the ombudspersons who created a safe space for all participants and built up a reliable team of trustpersons that was always there when needed. And a special thank you goes out to the Secretariat, with whom I got to prepare for this week for the past 9 months. I'm so grateful we got to organize this conference together. Only with everyone working together and taking responsibility for their parts, we are able to realize our student-run MUN year by year. We could not have done it without you. We hope that you, the delegates, can take away unforgettable memories and experiences home with you. We would be happy to welcome you all next year in Oldenburg for our 25th international session of OLMUN. I yield the floor back to the presidency.
We will now move on with our committee presentations. Our chairs will talk about their experiences and favorite moments of the week. We really hope you all enjoyed finding common ground, working on your resolutions and making amendments, as well as debating, and of course, dancing, singing, and playing games as icebreakers and punishments. Hopefully, this will be a welcomed recap to most of you, and an informative insight on other OLMUN committee sessions besides your own. First, we would like to ask the chairs of the GA first to come to the podium and introduce the committee. Jule Otto, Barbara Dorkova, Timon Bruchmüller, you now have the floor.
Hello, I'm Timon Bruchmüller, and I was a chair in the GA First Committee this year at OLMUN.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Barbara Dvorakova, and I was the chair to the GA First for the second time.
And my name is Jule, and I was the third chair of this year's General Assembly, or first General Assembly. And with almost 170 delegates, we were by far the biggest committee we have here. Since the beginning, our delegates were really motivated and couldn't wait to start the lobbying process. And in the end, we discussed and passed 2 resolutions, one submitted by Germany and one by Morocco, even though this was really close one, with only 2 more votes in favor than against after already splitting the House. No, we're not yet. Next to a productive debate, we can proudly say that our delegates also learned important life lessons during our sessions. For example, the importance of being on time. After nearly half of our committee was late after the first lunch break and a passionate dance to Rasputin that followed, the rate of latecomers drastically dropped. Dancing was still on the agenda though. I just want to say a really big thank you to everyone who made this OLMUN work, to our technical staff who literally saved me during every session when I was struggling with my computer, to our admin staff. You guys were really amazing. Without you, this wouldn't have worked. And of course, our delegates for making this an incredible week. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you're here for next year as well.
Next up, we had the beautiful gallery that you have seen. When we received all this mail in the gossip box or directly sent to us, my first thought that I had that any reasonable chair would have is simple: what the hell are we doing wrong that our chairs have the time to draw instead of debating? But I think that our delegates were productive, and not only in the drawing skills they presented us, but they were, I would say, the hardest working group of 170 people that I've seen in GA First. And trust me, this is the 4th time I've been there. These people were the most hardworking, and I would love to invite them to GA First next year. It was a pleasure to have you guys. Thank you all for coming to Oldenburg, and I hope that we see each other next year with all those beautiful drawings returning. I think Uzbekistan is the one to highlight. Yeah, so that's it from me. Thank you very much for attending. We have to thank our wonderful staff, and of course, thank the whole presidency and thank the secretariat. Thank you very much.
Well, as you can probably imagine, when the roll call alone takes more than 10 minutes, the cookie supply was the least of our worries. We had, as Jule said, 170 delegates who were debating in these very halls, which is why the stage now feels a lot smaller now that we've been here a week. But I just have to say that this wouldn't have been possible without our wonderful delegates, who also were making a lot of memes, which we would like to show you. Yes, so we definitely hope you had a good time. It's very hard for every delegate to be heard because we have just so many, and we definitely try to treat everyone equally. And I'd like to think that we've accomplished that. When you look back at your time in OLMUN, there are always these chair groups that you just love and would you love to go back to. And I guess for some people that was us, or that will be us. And I'm just so thankful to have been part of this experience, and I'm so thankful to have these two co-chairs who have been along for the ride with me, and I'd just like to thank you. We now yield the floor back to the presidency.
Following the GA First, we asked the chairs of the GA Second to talk about their week and share their experiences and favorite moments with us. Arik Loon, Anis Mutik, and Sonja Sjoberg, we yield the floor to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I really just want to thank you all for making this possible, for the Secretariat organizing everything, the alumni helping and advising, and the MUN directors, and of course all of you delegates You have been really amazing. The resolutions, the resolutions that we passed, I couldn't be more proud of you. I couldn't be more proud of my fellow two co-chairs who helped me everywhere where I just didn't know how to continue. For example, Sonja doing the gossip box absolutely fantastically. Anes, just being there for me, helping out wherever I didn't know what to do. And let's just go to our results, our resolutions. We had one resolution submitted by Nicaragua and Argentina that passed with 78 votes in favor, 26 votes against, and 4 abstentions. That probably deserves some clapping. Then the second one, submitted by the Kingdom of Denmark, absolutely fantastic delegate. Thank you so much for your hard work. The resolution by Denmark was actually divided into 2 sub-resolutions, and that made our job quite hard because nobody of us really knew how to do a motion to divide the question correctly. But I think we did it quite well. So unfortunately, first the part 1 failed, part 2 also failed. However, there were 2 really, really funny amendments. First of all, requests to horizontally rotate the pyramids of Gizeh 180 degrees in an effort to raise awareness about the unjust development aid in various countries, and then suggests to release the Great Rumbling so that the titans that hold up the Great Wall of China can stomp unjust actions regarding economic dependencies. So the overall atmosphere at the end of our committee session was quite relaxed, as you can see, and our first resolution was already so good that we didn't really have to take the second one all too seriously. And with that, I will give the word over to Sonja.
Hi, my name is Sonja Sjöberg, and I'm one of the international chairs this year of GA Second, and I'm from Sweden. I'm going to talk a little about our gossip that we have gotten. Last minute, Eric finally agreed to give me his shoebox so that we can DIY our gossip box, which I also think was very appreciated by everyone in GA Second. At times, it was even difficult to close the gossip box because we got so much gossip. The gossip had a variety of drawings, paper flowers, and shipping delegates and even staff members with each other. Smiles and laughter were always shared when gossip was read. Me and my co-chairs also received so many heart-warming notes. And in the end, we all asked our delegates to sign our gossip box for memories and that we're gonna bring home.
And then one last time, hello, my name is Not Slim Shady. I'm Anis Mujkic. I'm one of the chairs also from the GA Second. Apart from the gossip and the resolutions we also had some amazing punishments. So as an example, we had delegates and staff members passionately singing Griechischer Wein by Udo Jürgens together. So I think the atmosphere was almost on the level as from the club yesterday. From the evening activity. Or we also had our song battle with I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys between 2 teams led by Eric and me. Since a delegate also had her birthday today, the committee sang Happy Birthday for her, with the staff member also accompanying us with the piano. So first of all, thank you for the delegations, thank you for the delegates from my side too, and also to the amazing staff members, Can we get one applause for the birthday girl? Pastor. And just to note, these are the paper flowers Sonia was talking about. Thank you.
Lastly, we just want to say that we are so utterly thankful for this opportunity, and we also want to recognize our hardworking OLMUN team that has made everything possible. Despite so little sleep, you have all organized everything so perfectly, and I could not wish for a better first time as a chair. I also quickly want to thank all my delegates for making the committee sessions so interesting and fun. I also want to give a big thank you to my fellow co-chairs, because without them I wouldn't have been able to do it. So hopefully we'll see each other next year, and thank you all for being a part of our committee.
We yield the floor back to the presidency.
Thank you. Now we will continue with our chairs from the UNEP as they tell us about their special committee moments. Let us welcome Sebastian Körbs and Angelina Min. You have the floor.
Dear delegates, dear presidency, I'm Angelina Min. Together we were the presidents of this year's United Nations Environment Programme. Our topic was developing a global framework to promote sustainable forest management. We were both very excited before the conference, since this was the first time for both of us chairing this committee.
Hello also from me. My name is Sebastian Körbs. I'm from the faraway town of Osnabrück. And our committee consisted of about 80 great delegates, all of which you can see right here during one of our icebreakers, which was bingo, and that was a lot of fun. For us, it was such a great time to chair UNEP, and we really can't stress enough how great you delegates all were. So thank you for that. We also had very fruitful committee sessions consisting of different speeches. We also had one from our guest speaker, Dr. Maximilian Pretzold from the University of Oldenburg, who further informed all of our delegates about sustainable forest management. We had very interesting lobby sessions with very different approaches and loads of heated debates, which were all in good fun though. And of course, we also submitted resolutions, and 2 of them were able to pass. One of them was by Singapore and one by Argentina.
As you can see, we received a lot of gossip during the committee sessions. They contained drawings, games telling people what people looked alike to them, delegates telling other delegates they are cute, lots of shipping, but mainly fictional, narking, high-quality gossip such as several poems, and at least things actually related to the conference, which actually represented the minority of all the gossip.
So here we have some special gossip pieces which we would like to share with you in like a bit higher resolution. So on the left side you can see some great drawings we got. You can, for example, see a nice drawing of the sent to the USA of a overweight man eating a burger, or the Saddam Hussein hiding spot meme in the top left, which was very interesting. The delegate who sent that was also punished for that, I'm sorry, but that was not that appropriate. We also had very lyrical masterpieces. A lot of our delegates were very eloquent with words. We got very detailed letters. Some of them were even longer than policy statements or draft resolutions, so we know where some priorities were. And one of them I would like to present to you right now, if I find the correct one. So we had a short little poem which reads, "Roses are red, while violets are blue. Representing a corrupt country is not the true clue. But Sebastian's background picture is really cool, and I thank you for that." We also got a little tribute of that in the top right. It's a little guy riding a dog, which is my background picture. And we had terrific jokes to keep us entertained throughout the entire debate by someone who called themselves the Joker. And their probably best joke was, how do you call an old snowman? A glass of water, which, so you see we had some very high quality entertainment. We also allowed some delegates to play during committee. They were punished for that. You can see that on the right. They were playing tic-tac-toe, hangman, and also Wordle, like the game from the New York Times, with note passing paper, and we also played with them. And we also, just now, sitting there, got someone asking us to play tic-tac-toe with us, so that's very fun. And of course, we were also punished for playing tic-tac-toe with them, so.
And additionally, we also carried out punishments based on a wheel of punishment. And in these punishments, the delegates had to sing, to dance, to read out poems, and to give funny presentations. And all in all, we had really a wonderful time chairing this committee. And we want to finally give our thanks to the whole team, the delegates, the staffs, but also other people who helped us in the last days. You didn't only do your job greatly, but also were really nice people, and we hope to see you all in the next years again. Thank you.
Also, thank you from me. And we would also like to yield the floor back to the presidency.
Moving on to the next committee, we will ask the chairs of the UNHRC, Laura Petra Blümel and Maya Elisa Eichele, to please make their way to the podium to present their exciting committee moments. Chairs, we yield the floor to you.
Esteemed presidency, esteemed chairs, and honorable delegates, we, Maya Elisa Eichele and Laura Petra Blümel, got to chair this year's wonderful Human Rights Council. Throughout our 5 committee sessions, we started out with a surprisingly civil and unanimously minded committee. But at some point we did end up with some very fruitful and quite controversial and heated debates sometimes. But all of these also include many of our first-timers. The committee featured a huge number of them, but by the end you could not have told. All of our delegates, first-timers, and of course the more experienced ones too, grew so much over the past couple of days. The lobbying process especially allowed many delegates to express their opinions, and we soon ended up with 2 large groups that very thoroughly went through each resolution and implemented many aspects of multiple draft resolutions. We ended up with 2 resolutions despite the group almost merging at one point actually. We debated both resolutions, heard many sparkling, dazzling, and handsome speeches, and voted on many highly debated amendments. And so to everyone's delight, both resolutions passed with thunderous applause. Yeah. We also had the chance to be joined by Hans Lückhoff from Amnesty International Germany's Digital Rights Department, who told us a little bit more about balancing the right to privacy and the usage of private data for national security with the example of facial recognition. He explained to us many different aspects of how the legality and proportionality of it works, and we were all super happy to hear him.
Our gossip box may have looked nondescript from the outside, but it definitely wasn't on the inside. Whenever we had some technical issues or just needed a minute for organizing, we meanwhile had more than enough gossip to choose from to kill some time, and it lasted for gossip times at the end of our sessions without ever coming to a shortage. A lot of our gossip was written by a lovely gossip girl, which soon resulted in copycats that ruined the real gossip girl's reputation. We also had a little love triangle, which resolved with a short debate and subsequent vote that was later overruled when a threesome formed. The delegate of Switzerland not only promoted his music during our sessions, he also tried to bribe delegates by writing checks to them, which also ended up in our gossip box. For example, to Kenya. Sadly, we didn't have any dancing queens in our committee, but we did hear some stunning karaoke performances. After we finished debating our resolutions, we ended our last session with dancing Rasputin all together, the delegates, the staffs, and the chairs. Thanks to all of you who made this past few days so wonderful. We yield the floor back to the presidency.
Next up, we will find out what our chairs of the UN Women, Sabina Miolova and Ariane Scheffel, have to report about their OLMUN committee sessions. We yield the floor to you.
Honorable Secretariat, distinguished delegates, fellow chairs and guests. This week, Sabina and I had the honor of chairing the UN Women Committee, a body that might not be as big as other committees, but whose mission echoes in every corner of our world. The way a society treats its women is not merely a gender issue. It reflects its level of stability, progress, and commitment to democracy. As the Nobel Peace Prize winner and former Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan once said, "There is no tool for development more effective than the empowerment of women." And that's exactly what we tackled. Our committee took on the complex and often invisible issue of gender bias in medical research and medication. We debated what happens when female bodies are excluded from trials, when symptoms are misunderstood, and when the data used to save lives only reflects half of humanity. This was not a theoretical discussion. It was about representation, justice, and health as a human right. And despite the gravity of our topic, our delegates brought not only critical thinking, but also creativity, compassion, and yes, a good dose of chaos and laughter. Thank you to everyone who made the UN Women Committee a safe space for real dialogue and an inspiring environment for respectful debates. And of course, a big thank you to my great co-chair Sabina. It was a real pleasure to chairing with you.
Our topic regarding women's health is extremely important. It concerns around 50% of us here today and 90% of our committee, and that is not a small percentage. If you are a girl and you are struggling with medical gaslighting, getting told you're just anxious, hysterical, or imagining your problem, just know that you are not alone. I am proud to say that our delegates fought this problem very bravely this week. They passed 2 big, beautiful resolutions. Some would even say the best resolutions of them all. We can only hope and pray that world leaders follow their example and approach this problem with as much passion as our delegates did until the very end. But most importantly, the delegates, as well as us, the chairs of this committee, educated ourselves on this topic. And the next time we encounter this problem, either directly or indirectly, we won't be ashamed to speak up, and perhaps we'll even make a small but significant difference. We would now both like to thank our committee members and our staff. A special thank you goes to the entire Secretariat and the President of the General Assembly. While their work is often not as visible to you, the participants, they are truly the backbone of OLMUN. Lastly, I would like to thank Ariane, my co-chair, for being a friend to me and making this year's OLMUN such a great experience for me. We would now like to present you some of our most memorable moments from our session.
We started off with games as icebreakers, such as map drawing, where delegates had to draw a world map completely from memory. It was not only a testament to geographical imagination, but also to how quickly strangers can become a team. You can see the process and the beautiful results here. The results of our beautiful world maps and the following. Truly talented, I would say.
We, of course, had our glittery gossip box, where we received not only some juicy gossip, but also drawings from our talented delegates, such as this one of the 2 of us. As you can see, it is very accurate. Here are some more drawings from our delegates. Punishments couldn't be excluded either. And even though our delegates were sometimes naughty, we love them all.
In the last days, we passed 2 resolutions. The first resolution main submitted by Spain and the second by the delegation of Algeria and Mali. Each of them is a symbol of the consistency and shared efforts of our great delegates and reminds us that diplomacy is not about winning arguments, but about building bridges. Thank you all. You're really great, and therefore we yield the floor back to the presidency. Goodbye, and hope to see you next year.
Before we continue with the committees, we would like to show you the last morning show before OLMUN 2025 season.
Welcome back. This is the morning show and I'm Paula, your host. It's the final day of the conference and we're getting ready for an exciting and eventful ending. Shock and alarm swept through the committees yesterday as a hostage situation unfolded involving the United Nations Security Council. The rebel group known as M23 has taken MONUSCO peacekeepers and several civilians hostage. In a video released yesterday, the group issued a demand for the immediate withdrawal of all FARDC troops from North Kivu and South Kivu provinces. The originally planned military expedition by France against M23 and training of the Congolese soldiers by the UK and France was blocked by the vetoes of Russia and China. In the end, only the first 4 of the 6 clauses submitted in the resolution by the USA passed. Sadly, this resolution did not stop M23. They executed the hostage because their demand of an autonomous region was not met. What a shocking situation. Let's hope next year's OLMUN runs a bit smoother. But now let's take a look at a more positive topic. Last night's party was a total success, so let's recap some of the unforgettable moments. Every year, there are a few participants that don't obey the rules, like talking when you're not supposed to or breaking the dress code. The following punishments are often entertaining for all other participants. Here are some of the best ones for you to enjoy. As we head into the final day, delegates will have one last chance to make their voices heard in committee sessions and work out the perfect resolutions. Before this year's OLMUN comes to an end, we all come together once again at our closing ceremony. Before we say goodbye, let's check in one last time with the weather forecast for today. What can we expect, Jacob?
Thank you, Paula. Moving on to the weather. Our last day will be cooler at 19 degrees, with rain likely throughout the day. The expected precipitation is 40 to 50%. That's your forecast for the day. Stay informed and plan accordingly.
And finally, I want to thank our Secretariat and the IC members for making OLMUN possible once again. Your effort and dedication are what enable us to enjoy this wonderful week. For closing word from our Secretary General and our Deputy Secretary General, let's hand it over to Emily Rossop and Jannika Ebel.
Dear participants, isn't it crazy how time flies? We hope you had a week full of fun, meaningful debates and new friendships.
Right now we're gathered here at the Gleis Park for our last evening activity. We're glad to see how such a great community formed between all of you through the infamous OLMUN spirit. See you at OLMUN 2026.
That's it from me and for the OLMUN Morning Show. Thank you for joining us throughout the conference, and we hope you've had an incredible experience. Safe travels, and until next time, goodbye.
We will now be continuing with our committee presentations. Now we'll welcome the wonderful chairs Julia Hede and Isabella Cotella from the ECOSOC committee as they give us insight on their committee sessions. We kindly yield the floor to you.
We, Isabel and I, Julia, had the honor to be this year's presidents of the Economic and Social Council. We discussed the strengthening of international cooperation to deal with migration due to poverty and inequality. In our committee, we were blessed with the most amazing delegates, insightful speeches, and entertaining gossip.
In total, we had 2 resolutions by China and Colombia and the United States of America. The first resolution passed while the other one failed. Our delegates were very active and participated in a lot of fruitful debates. We heard beautiful speeches about Japan's history, China's human rights, and their data security. Overall, we couldn't be more happy about our committee.
On Thursday, Dr. Katrin Bornemann from the Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development visited us. She talked about her work in the UN and told us about negotiating and cooperating in an international setting. We learned a lot from her and are very thankful for her visit.
To start our committee sessions, Julia and I thought of 2 icebreakers for the delegates to get to know each other better. First, the delegates had to sort themselves into a line according to different categories. The prize of the second icebreaker, a bingo, was premium access for cookies, a prize worth fighting for.
After Isabel put a lot of effort into the design of our gossip box, we were of course expected excellent gossip, and our delegates didn't disappoint. Various ships between several delegates and staff members kept us amused. Compliments were also exchanged between pretty much everyone. All in all, we were entertained on a diplomatic and personal level.
Even though we had this amazing committee, there were still a few punishments to be executed, and they even made it into the morning show. We had singing, dancing, writing poems, and even a few catwalks. The enthusiasm for punishment grew over the sessions, and we discovered a few new future pop stars. In the end, we can only express our gratitude for this week of OLMUN. We thank our delegates, our staff, and everyone who made this possible. Thank you so much for everything. We yield the floor back to the presidency.
We will now proceed with the committee UNESCO, chaired by Sama Orlando and Eska Burkhardt. We welcome them as they tell us about the wonderful committee sessions they had this week. Chairs, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. We are Aska and Samo, and we had the honor to share the UNESCO this year. We debated on the very current and important topic of addressing the suppression of non-material cultural assets and languages in multi-ethnic states.
On Wednesday, we had the extraordinary experience to welcome Amarachi Atama-Ugwu, who is a lecturer in the Harvard University African Languages program, as a guest speaker. She held an incredibly informative and inspiring talk, first educating us all about indigenous languages and then telling us about her own story relating to language. Afterwards, she entered a very touching dialogue with the delegates, having them share their own experiences, relating and reflecting with them. She could not only give important insights into the committee topic, but also answered other questions the delegates had, like how teaching at Harvard now is under the Trump administration.
Yeah, so throughout our committee sessions, we've had enticing debates and even more enticing gossip, be it Tinder dates, Fischbrötchen, or even drawings of Samo and me as mice. The gossip box was, yet again, a truly great experience. The punishments also were something to remember. Practicing our singing and dancing could, of course, not be missing at an OLMUN conference. But we also got to learn some useful everyday things, like how to tie a tie, general information on the United Nations, or that the global powers are manipulating the weather and are spying on us using umbrellas.
We passed 2 resolutions and unfortunately failed a third one. To be able to pass the last resolution in time, one delegate, we all had suspected would become a diplomat one day, revealed that he also had the required talent for a career as a rap artist.
So we sang and we danced, but most importantly, we had fun and the opportunity to educate ourselves. And so for you guys, dear UNESCO, you made this conference memorable for us.
We have to thank the Secretariat, the Inner Circle, all of our wonderful staff, and the trust persons of our committee, Anna and Clara, for making the conference possible in the first place. It truly was an honor to work with such wonderful people. And a lot of love to every delegate in our committee. We will miss you now that the week is over. We yield the floor back to the presidency.
Next up, we will continue with our brilliant chairs from the World Health Assembly, Cecilia Clemens and Emily Singer. They will now share their view on the committee sessions and the World Health Assembly Committee. Chairs, you now have the floor.
Honorable Presidency, distinguished delegates, it is a pleasure to speak here today. We are Cecilia Clemens and Emily Singer. Together, we had the chance to be the presidents of the World Health Assembly. And yes, it is not called the World Health Association or the World Heart Assembly. Our topic this year was improving the accessibility and affordability of medical treatment worldwide. Even before OLMUN officially started, we had an unofficial nickname for our committee, the chaotic one. When reading the policy papers that were handed in, a lot of problems occurred. You don't even want to know how often we have a situation was written in our chat. We had delegates handing in their documents for completely different delegations, and some of them weren't even present in our committee. Nevertheless, we were able to sort out all the problems, or at least most of them.
The nickname continued throughout our committee sessions. The punishments were never really punishments. Instead of the supposed 5 people that should have been dancing or singing, nearly the entire committee participated in those punishments. During lobbying, the chaos was also shown, since it was unclear who would submit to which resolution until the very, very end. A lot of different groups were formed and then dissolved in the next 10 minutes. Nevertheless, our committee worked really, really hard, and in the end we had 3 amazing resolutions. We discussed a whole lot and were able to pass 2 of those resolutions, one from Belgium and one from Germany. We are really proud of our Chaos Committee. Though sometimes the amendments were not exactly the most, productive ones. but those were also the most fun. For example, Sudan tried to lower drug prices under the price of the average cappuccino, as well as to mass-produce bandages in Bangladesh instead of fast fashion. Additionally, our committee provided us with a lot of amazing gossip. Our gossip box is a pure meme itself, you can see for yourself. We were blessed to have creative minds in our committee who drew the most amazing memes and pictures of us and the delegates, well, mostly Sudan. The most sent note to us was the request to play Make It Meme. Unfortunately, we didn't have the time to play it during our committee session, but the delegates didn't mind that at all. They just started playing without us, but at least they sent the nice memes in our group chat.
Our committee loved chipping everyone with everyone and also complimenting each other. The vibes were so nice, comforting, and welcoming. We couldn't have imagined a better committee to chair together. We want to thank every single delegate at the World Health Assembly since you made the week so special for us and all others. We also want to thank our administrative staff and our technical staff who were present in all times, even when we were too dumb to use our laptops. Moreover, we want to thank the Secretariat and the Inner Circle for organizing this week and making it unforgettable for us. We will miss OLMUN 2025 and our committee. Thank you. We yield the floor back to the presidency.
Moving on, we will now be hearing from our wonderful special conference chairs, Mika Schwarte and Isabella Meyer, about their committee and their special moments from this week. Chairs, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Mika.
I'm Isabella. Fellow chairs and presidents, dear guests, esteemed delegates, honorable presidency. First of all, we would like to thank all of you for making this year's OLMUN such an amazing experience. Not that we expected any less, of course. In our committee, the special conference, we searched for, debated on, and eventually found solutions for the lasting issue of piracy around the Horn of Africa. During the last couple of days, a lot of funny, interesting, and memorable things happened in our committee. After getting to know each other via icebreakers, I led the whole committee to the bathroom because no one could understand the overcomplicated way there, since the venue was my school. Even us students get confused from time to time. Props to my school for confusing every poor soul simply trying to find the bathroom. After that scavenger hunt through the school's back rooms, however, the debate could finally start.
We entertained two great resolutions. In the end, luckily both passed, with the second resolution only passing with a narrow majority of just a single vote. We enjoyed the delegation of Japan's playful conflict with the delegation of China, the horror in the delegates' eyes every time the delegation of Egypt raised a hand to ask a point of information, and most of all, indulged in boatloads of gossip. Our hardworking delegates shared with us again and again and again. Our beautiful rainbow gossip box had to be emptied multiple times in order to entertain even more gossip, thanks especially to the delegation of Yemen. With our punishments ranging from testing their OLMUN knowledge via performances of Waka Waka to a beautiful rendition of Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield, the delegates who were punished showcased their incredible talents. We'd like to highlight two of our punished delegates for their outstanding engagement in everything but the debate at hand, the delegates of Kenya and Qatar. Even though we were only able to get to know each other in these short 3 days, we will really feel as though we are a small, or rather big, happy family.
Once again, we'd like to thank all of you for doing such a great job. This year's conference showcased lots of fruitful debates, amusing moments, and most of all, newfound friendships. Lastly, we'd like to say our goodbyes with the word that we have heard the most over the last couple of days. This one's for you, Djibouti. Objection! We yield the floor back to the presidency.
Last but not least, we will hear from the chairs of the Security Council, Sören Derman and Tim Weber, about their exciting moments this past week. Chairs, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Dear Presidency, dear delegates, we, Sören, and I, Tim, are the chairs of this year's Security Council, a moment we have been looking forward to and working on for the last few months. We started Wednesday with some icebreakers and introductions, followed by the presentation of the policy statements and the transition to lobbying, from which 2 resolutions were presented, which were discussed in the following days. Thursday was a special day. Around 10:40, the committee was stormed due to a hostage situation and swiftly evacuated to secure military barracks on the outskirts of Oldenburg. The delegates had the special task of meeting the needs of the hostage takers to save the lives of those taken hostage while not accepting such a heinous act by the rebel group. The delegate of M23 had the challenging task to defend his position, although he was made responsible for the kidnapping. And he did do his job very well.
Despite our best diplomatic efforts and very hard work by all our delegates, unfortunately, all hostages were executed by the rebel group M23. But everyone had a lot of fun, and we would like to thank those responsible for the great planning of the crisis. Due to the hostages being executed, the delegation of France, China, and the UK hoisted their flags as half-mast for the rest of the committee session. Talking about flags, the delegations of Denmark and Sierra Leone did not have a flag at all, and at the place of the absent delegate of Slovenia, the flag of Slovakia was hoisted. Hopefully, nobody noticed. And even though the hostages were killed, unfortunately, the trip to the military base was still worth it because we got the coolest committee picture ever. We want to thank all of you for actively participating and making this week unforgettable. Thank you very much. We yield the floor back to the presidency.
Moving on to the next segment, it's probably what most delegates have been waiting for, attending the closing ceremony. This year, the presidency will be announcing the best delegates for each committee.
So you start now.
Beginning with GA first, congratulations to Frederik Stamm. Could you please approach the podium? They can also come. want to take a picture with your chairs? Okay, thank you. Yeah, you can like leave now. Moving on with GA second, we have Matthias Gärtner and Yunus Kuchain. Continuing with UNEP, we have Rosa Fliegel and Ludwig Wiegand. Continuing with the committee of UNHRC, we have Jonas Diekmann and Daniel Langwurst. Congratulations. Would you please the picture? Okay. Would the following delegates please approach the podium through the stairs and not through these? Thank you very much. Continuing now with UN Women, may Karolina Knapova and Yvette Bauer please approach the podium.
We will now be moving on with the best delegates from the ECOSOC committee. Ang Yuashi and Karl von Kriechbach.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, give them all access. Now, moving on to the UNESCO committee, we'd like to welcome the delegates Johanna Herrchen and Christopher Schutte. Please approach the stage. We will now be moving on to the best delegates from the World Health Assembly. Please welcome David Lute and Julia Johanna Beek. And now, moving on to the special conference, please welcome Simon Korten and Martin Kiss-Schwamkamp. I'm gonna apologize. And now, lastly but not least, we'll move on to the Security Council. Please welcome Pau Spindeldreyer and Arjun Dawson. Please come. We would like to thank all the best delegates that participated and showed real courage during the committee sessions this year. Thank you so much for participating. Now, as most of you may have noticed, we did not have our individual committee performances this year. However, our incredible chairs have prepared a little skit for you to enjoy and have in remembrance of this year's conference. After this performance, we hope you all sing along and flash your phone lights for a memorable ambiance. Please welcome our chairs.
Test. So, do you recognize any of these chairs?
I was hiding in the bathroom stall, so I couldn't see their faces, but I heard them. They were singing along to the music at the bar.
Do you remember what they were singing?
I think it was that song, I Want It That Way.
The Backstreet Boys, I'm familiar. Number 1, please sing the opening to I Want It That Way.
What? Really? You are my fire.
Number 2, keep it going.
The one desire.
Number 3.
Believe when I say.
Number 4.
I want it that way.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
Now number 5.
I never wanna hear you say.
Woo!
I
Want it that way. Chills, literal chills.
It was number 5. Number 5 ate all my cookies.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Now, as the song comes on, we would absolutely love it if all of you could sing along if you know the lyrics. And again, for a memorable ambiance, would like you to take off your flashlights and wave along. Thank you. We apologize for the delay, but thank you so much for your enthusiasm. Thank you so much for that incredible performance. You may all return to your seats, chairs. Thank you. Please return to your seats, chairs. Thank you. We would absolutely love to see many of you again next year as we celebrate our 25th year of OLMUN. We would be delighted if many of you could apply to be chair for next year, and if you live in Oldenburg, for you to join the inner circle. You will all receive a survey where you will have the opportunity to give us feedback on this year's OLMUN conference, and eventually, later this year, our chair application will be officially open.
Thank you all for participating in this week's conference. We hope you enjoyed this OLMUN as much as we did. I hereby declare OLMUN 2025 as officially closed.